Hello, my fourth and seventh periods. Today, I'm going to show you how to use algebra tiles to combine like terms. So it says work on this activity in small groups and you will need 8 tiles of each size, but we don't currently have the tiles, so you're going to have to kind of use your paper and draw pictures for use of your manipulatives. So many algebraic expressions can be illustrated by using algebra tiles. Algebra tiles are regular tiles whose areas stand for 1 and negative 1, positive x, negative x, positive x squared, and negative x squared. So I'm going to label those for you. Positive 1, negative 1, positive x, negative x, positive x squared, and negative x squared. And so we use the shaded to represent the negative, and we use the open to represent the positive. So you can arrange the tiles to represent an expression. So this current expression is 2x squared plus 3x. And then we have, and 2x plus 3 are shown below as well. So here, since we have two x's, the 2 represents how many big squares I should have. And notice that there is no negative sign, so we always assume that a number is positive if it doesn't have a negative sign. So that's why I have 2 big squares, 2 large squares, because I have 2 x squared. Now I have 3 x's, and so the x is represented by the long bar here. And so 1, 2, and 3 of those represent 3 of those x's. So that's simple. Also, this next one, we have 2 x's, so 2 of the long bars, and plus 3, which is 3 ones. So now let's do 1 and 2. And I'm checking these answers because I know that you have already done this, but if you need some help, I'm going to do 1. And then I'm going to do a couple on the back, just if you were kind of lost yesterday and you didn't know what you were doing. So for 1, A says 4x squared. So I know that x squared is represented by the big square here. They're positive, so I'm going to use the unshaded one. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that represents 4x squared. So the next one is 4x squared. So it's building on A. So B has 4x squared, in addition to 2 x's. And remember, the x's are represented by the bars, and they're positive, so they're not shaded. And then, building on B, 4x squares. We have 2 bars and 2 ones. So that is your model. 4x plus 2 x's equals, or plus 2. All right. So I believe that you can do the next one on your own. 4 bars, 3 big squares, 1 little one. Do that. All right. So the next one, it says, what expression is shown below? Well, 3, I know that this stands for my x squared, and I only have one of them. So I'm going to put x squared. Remember, we're all putting these together, so it's addition. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the x's. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So this is your expression. Okay, and you would do the same with number 4. Number 5, it says to add algebraic expressions, group arrange tiles or arrange tiles representing each add-in and count like tiles. Use these tiles to demonstrate the sum. So what we want to do is we want to add like terms. That's what we would like to do. This is saying, well, we want to figure out, well, how many x squares do we have? Well, if we add them together, we have 1x squared here, because that 1x, it's understood that if it doesn't have anything in front of the x, then that is 1. Here I have 2x squared. So if I combine those, you have 1 plus 2, which is 3x squared. So then my next one, I want to look at my x's. And so I have 3 x's right here. And then, of course, if nothing's in front of it, it's understood that it is 1. So 3x's plus 1x is 4x's. And then last, I would like to do my unit, my numbers. So I have 1, 2. So I'm just going to put that 2 over there. So now I have simplified my expression, simplified all my like expressions or like add-ins. So number 6, since the sum of a number and its opposite are 0 together, a positive tile and a negative tile represent 0. They're called zero pair. So we know that that is a review from our 7th grade material. So a positive x and a negative x equals 0. So we can cross out our 0 pairs. So we have 3 positive x's, which is represented here, 1 negative x, which is represented here, and we can cross that out and create 0. 2 negatives, and remember, a subtraction is a negative. That we are now combining those two. Subtraction is a negative. So 2 subtractions, or 2 negatives, x's, and then we have 2 positive x's represented by the tiles here. Then we have 4 positive 1s and 6 negative 1s. So we want to create 0 pairs by canceling positive and negative. So our answer, when we simplify, is 2x squared, which is what's left over, 2x squared. We don't have any x's, so we don't need to put that in there, and we have 2 negatives. So we write that 2x squared minus 2. All right. So we want to combine these. So I'm going to do, so it looks like we need to give the sum for these. So I have 2x squared and x squared. So 2 and 1 is 3x squared. I'm going to cross that out because I'm done with that one. I only have 4 x's. And then I have a 1 and a 4, which makes 5. So that is the simplified A. Let's do the next one. I only have 1 set of x squared. I have 2 x's. And then I have 3, and then plus 2 more is 5. Okay. All right, so let's look over here at the negatives, and I feel that you can do C and D on your own. So let's look at B on this side. I have 2 x's and then a negative x. So this one's positive because it has nothing in front of it. And positive 2 and negative 1 is just a positive. So I'm left with 1x. And then negative 7 and negative 1 is negative 8 together. So my answer is x minus 8. Alright, and so the rest of it, I have faith that you can do those. Make sure that you look at your signs. Your signs are important because they tell you if they are negative, if they are positive. And remember that negatives are no longer subtraction. And subtraction and negatives is the same thing. And addition is and positive is the same thing. I hope this helps you out. Please put it in the bin, and I will see you next worksheet.